Tom is one of the most thoughtful and generous individuals I have ever met in my life. I'm not saying that because he's my husband, but I'm saying it because I've known Tom for over 30 years. I've had the opportunity to work with him and see firsthand how he's built our company, what he does for our family, and most importantly, watching him work day in and day out on the various boards and nonprofits that he's involved with. Tom is truly a giver in every sense of the word.
I met Tom about 8 years ago, and it wasn't long after my meeting with Tom that he agreed to join the board of Regis College. He then said, "What do you need from me?" I said, "I'm running a marathon, and I need you to run the marathon alongside me, but also be ready to sprint when I need you to." And he said, "I'm there with you."
I think what motivates and moves the Catholic Church, it's the giving side, it's the mission side. And that's what I think Regis, in a very strong way, is all about as well.
What makes Tom proud is the path forward that he creates for young individuals.
I first met Tom O'Neill when we were doing a Board of Trustees meeting, and I was invited as a student representative, and he said, "I want you to work on my internship." And I said no. I foolishly said no. After that meeting was over, they were like, "Do you know who that man was?" I was like, "Who was that?" They're like, that's Tom O'Neill. You're gonna want an internship from that man." And so I reached back out again, and sure enough, he gave me the opportunity to be an intern at his public relation and government relation firm.
Oh, I love Fred. I love Fred. When he came to us, he in very large part described to us the hardships of his own family. And to watch him, go to Regis College away from home and then come to us on his own because he thought that's what he wanted to do. Just to learn a little bit about another side of life that he'd never scratched, he'd never been part of, was really pretty important.
I've known Tom O'Neill since 1974. His passion for politics, business, and government is as strong today as it was then. His work with so many institutions in Greater Boston is notable, but the re-engineering of his alma mater, North Cambridge Catholic High School, into Cristo Rey Boston High School is perhaps one of the finest examples of Tom's lasting work.
There's a lot of unique things about Tom. I think one thing when I think about him is his inability to say no. And I think of all of the boards we've served on together, all of the civic organizations, political campaigns, helping people both small and big, always there for me with big advice and little advice.
He doesn't join an organization, he makes a legacy in that organization. And a lot of people have plaques with their names on it in buildings or in rooms, but the biggest tribute that Tom has is his heart. It's as big as any building, as big as any room that could ever be named after him, and that is his lasting legacy.
If you've ever met Tom O'Neill, you understand that his words just impact you. They hit you and it makes you think, it makes you reflect, and it makes you also want to do better. So to have someone who is a star themselves wanting to pave the way for your success, I think that's the greatest star ever.
The Sisters of St. Joe, I think, are extraordinary people too. They serve without distinction, as they say. And I've always been kind of caught up in that phrase because I'd love to think that that's the way I lived my life. In front of our house on the Cape, there's a white X. Actually, it goes back to my grandfather. And the white X really symbolized that if you were on the street and you needed a meal, there was always a meal. If you were cold during the winter, we'd find a coat for you somewhere. Or if you needed a night's sleep, you'd come in and we'd give you a night's sleep. And everywhere you go where there's a house, an O'Neill house, you got a white X in the house.
Congratulations, Tom, on winning the Shining Example Award. You are the shining example.
Congratulations, Tommy, on this well-deserved award, your commitment to Regis, and the inspiration you've had for the entire community.
Tom, congratulations on your Shining Example Award. Well deserved.
Tom, you are a shining example for our students and for our entire Regis community. Thank you for being a friend and a mentor to me as well, as we continue to run the marathon together.